what's the first structures that we would see when we're looking at the face of somebody? The first things we would see would be, well, how about the skin? The skin that is protecting the orbit that is containing the eye. The skin of our eyelids is the thinnest that we have in our body. There are muscles that are going to be closing the eyelid and then opening it. We'll talk about that when we get to the second video in the series. Eyelashes. Well, the eyelash's purpose is to protect the eye from debris, anything that would be coming at us. The conjunctiva. When I say it's a mucous membrane, that makes it an epithelium. And we know that epithelium, number one, is a lining. Okay, so that's no surprise. But it's also going to be something that secretes stuff. Well, this secretion, this mucus, helps to keep the eyelids kind of lubricated so that the eyelids can close and open without too much trouble. If there is too much mucus, or if a bacterial infection comes in and causes that membrane to become inflamed, well, that's called conjunctivitis, but you might know it better as pink eye. Since it's caused by a bacteria, it's very contagious, and it's very itchy. And so what people do, not knowing they have pink eye, is they'll rub their eye, and then they'll go and touch another surface. Well, when you go and touch another surface, well, now somebody else who touches that surface and goes up and rubs their eye, well, now they've transferred the bacteria into their own eye, hence transferring the pink eye to everybody else who you've come into contact with, which isn't so good. This, if you've ever wondered what this pink thing in the medial corner of your eye is called, it's called the caruncle. I just think it's a funny word, caruncle. I'm squishy sometimes when I'm poking around up there. Looking at what's called the lacrimal apparatus. Yes, you have your conjunctiva that's going to line your eye, and actually when I say it lines the eye, it's the deep side of the eyelid has the conjunctiva, but also the white part of your eye up to the cornea is going to have a thin membrane as well. And so they're continuous, which is why when you have that inflammation or that irritation, is that you've got the redness on the eye itself, but then there's also irritation on the inside of the eyelids. But when we look at the lacrimal apparatus, the first big thing is you've got the lacrimal gland, which is going to produce and secrete the tears. Those are located in this superior lateral corner, if you will, or area of your orbit. The lacrimal ducts, which are here, are going to, and I change colors so we can see them, they are going to connect to the deep surface of the eyelid to release the tears in this upper area. And then as you blink, you actually deliver the tears towards the medial margin of your eye. And what we have are these two connectors here and here called canaliculi. Oh, we've heard that word before. Yes, little baby canals. Yes. And then we have this lacrimal sac and something called the nasolacrimal duct. What the nasolacrimal duct does, look at its name, naso means nose, lacrimal is going to be up in this bone here, but this duct, nasolacrimal duct, is going to convey excess tears either, down into your nasal cavity, or they're going to fall over your lower eyelid, right, when you're crying. Maybe a lot while in my class, but excess tears are going to go down your nasolacrimal duct, which is why your nose runs when you cry. Because a lot of what's coming out of your nose is excess tears that have traveled through that connection. From here, I want to introduce you to our model that we use when learning about the eye and looking at, which might be creepy, is that you look at this external portion And what I see first, I'm drawn to, is the lacrimal gland. The lacrimal gland is going to be on the lateral side of the eye. So that's going to help me with perspective as to which side of the eye is this. In this model, I see this bony structure. Well, this is going to be the nasal cavity. So which kind of eye is this? This would be a left eye. Here's our lacrimal gland, and then you see these green lacrimal ducts that are going to deliver the tears to the inside of the eyelid. And you can kind of see that when I flip this around. There's the lacrimal gland, and then you can see the green ducts, lacrimal ducts, that are connecting it to the inside of the eyelid. As those tears are moved medially, here we've got my caruncle, right? And then these green tubes coming out from the medial corner of the eye, that's going to be the canaliculi. Turning my model, we're going to see the lacrimal sac, and then the nasal lacrimal duct is what's going to continue all the way down. When we need to identify the lacrimal bone in a skull, you're going to see an opening in that bone, and that's going to be for the nasal lacrimal canal. So it's easier to identify where that lacrimal bone was. Okay? That's it for this first video in the series of eye. Stay tuned for the muscles that move the eye. Thanks for watching.